Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney and today we are going to be doing another makeup collection video. I have quite a few on my channel so far. I have done my eyeshadow palettes, that's the main one that took a huge chunk of my time. I've done blushes, highlights, contour, bronzer, face palettes, a lot of what you could think of. So for today's video, we are going to be doing foundations and concealers. And that one is surprisingly a small category for me. Once I find a foundation that I like, I stick to it. Same with concealer. So I don't actually have that much in that category. So I think today's video is gonna be rather short. Maybe. I say that and then I ramble on for God knows how long. But if you are interested in watching my makeup collection video for foundations and concealers, keep on watching. Please remember to smash that like button. Please hit subscribe if you like my videos, if you like this video, just me in general, or you're just feeling like a nice person today. I don't know. It really helps me out. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Now we're gonna switch around and you're probably not gonna see my face till the very end. So, woo! All right, everyone, as per usual with these kind of videos, here is my vanity. I pushed everything that I'm going to be talking about to the side so I can just easily grab it. All right, so already told this in the intro, but we are going over foundations and concealers today. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with foundations just because that comes before concealers in a normal routine. So I don't think I need any more reason than that. All right, let's get on with it. Okay, so I'll start with the newest in my collection. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation, and this is in shade Fair 25W. So fun fact, I wasn't gonna pick this shade originally. I wanted the neutral one just because I thought that I would be more neutral, but this actually works really well for my skin, so maybe I need to get more warm toned foundations, I don't know. But this has a nice kind of medium to full coverage. It's definitely medium buildable, but you can get it pretty close to full coverage, or at least I can. It really just, it's super hydrating like it says in the name. It feels really nice on the skin. You have like a dewy kind of finish to the skin, but if you put powder on top of it, it will set very nicely and it won't be too overly dewy, which I really like. So it is leaning more natural finish, I guess. Maybe that's the right word for it. But this is a very nice foundation. I think it's 1 fluid ounce, which is like a normal amount of foundation, and it's really nicely priced. And I absolutely love getting drugstore or affordable foundations because this is something that you use every single day and you use a lot of it, so you go through it really quickly. And I am not one to want to buy a foundation that is super, super expensive because once it runs out, I probably won't buy it again just because that's a lot of money. It really is. There are a few exceptions, of course, but in general, most of my foundations are gonna be drugstore foundations. So let's move on ahead. So this one is my current favorite foundation, I think. Next up, we're gonna go with one that, full disclosure, I was sent this for free the first time I got it. So I'll get them both out actually. So this is the Ergo Beauty 2-Step Foundation, and this is the one I got for free. I used it almost completely up. I was running out of it. Now it's getting kind of old, so I didn't want to use the rest of it because I wasn't sure of, I don't know, I wasn't sure if it was still good or not. But, I mean, you can clearly see how much I've used of this foundation. And it's 2 steps, so it is wonderful for the summertime. It's an oil control foundation. So first you have step 1, and that is your oil control step, which you put on the oily zones of your face. So forehead, nose, chin for me. And then you go over all of your face with step 2, just to blend it all in and get the rest of your face. And this is just your, it's not an oil control foundation, it's more like a regular foundation, but you have the 2-in-1. And you can buy this separately or as a set. I prefer them as a set, obviously. All right, pardon this interruption. My dog wanted to sit in my lap. Bestie boy. Hi. You good? Can I get you anything? Snacks? A drink? You good? Okay. As long as you're good. Alright, so continuing on, if you would like to try out the Ergo Beauty foundation, then you can use my code GLITTER20 for 20% off, which feels so weird to say. Thank you so much to Ergo Beauty for giving me that code. And I don't make any money off of that. It basically just tells them I sent you there, so enjoy a discount. I really enjoy this foundation. It's definitely more of a natural finish. It's not very matte. It really leaves the skin feeling really nice, even though it is oil control. So that is something I really love, especially in the summertime. I love having some kind of oil control foundation in my collection. And it smells like the faintest amount of cake batter. I cannot explain it, but it does. But it's not overpowering in any way. You know how I am about scents if you've watched any of my other videos. So this is not overpowering at all, and it's a really, really nice foundation. So yeah, there's that. Ergo Beauty, you probably haven't heard of them, but you should. This is in shade Sarah for both the step 1 and step 2. And I know that's a little different and it could seem kind of scary, but trust me, it really is not much different than applying a normal foundation. It's like applying a concealer and a foundation, even though the coverage on both is about the same, but one is just your oil control step. So yeah, I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that, but I definitely recommend y'all looking them up. I will put their Instagram account in the description of this video, just because they're a really, really small brand and I really want to help them out. Also, I did want to mention that I was sent the first one for free and then I purchased the second one on my own. So obviously I liked it enough to repurchase. And it's kind of on the expensive side, but with my discount code, brings it right back down to a normal foundation price range. So leading with that, the next one is a decently expensive foundation that I love and have been through a lot of. This is the Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay, and I have gone through this countless times. I did not keep all of the empties for this product. I usually keep the empties for my products, but this one I had too many empties, so I thought you would just get the gist of it if I kept one of the empties. This is my most full one, and it's about a little less than halfway. Before I got the ColourPop one, and before I got another one, which I will show you in a minute, this was my 100% everyday go-to foundation. And I'm not lying about that. This I've used and repurchased so many times. It's a light coverage foundation. This is in shade 11NN, and this is a perfect match for my skin tone. Like, just, ugh, I love it so much. And my dog wants to get back up again. All right, now he's back in my lap. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. So, like I was saying, I have repurchased this so many. Hi. Hi, what are you doing? You helping? Are you helping? I don't know if that's helping, sir. I don't know if that's helping. But you're cute doing it, though. Hi. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. So this is a very light coverage foundation, but with concealer, you can build up to whatever coverage you want, obviously. But this is a long wearing foundation. If I needed something to last me all day long and was more leaning on the matte side, this is it. The Ergo Beauty lasts all day, but it's more of a natural finish. This is a matte coverage, well, this is a matte finish foundation that lasts all day. And it does not budge. I love it so, so much. For the dead of summer, this is perfect. Hi, what are you doing? So I highly recommend this. Hi, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're stealing the show. What? What? Is there a puppy? What? So this is a beautiful matte finish foundation, and I highly recommend. I've repurchased it so many times, and I probably will repurchase it when I run out of this one, because I can't imagine not having it in my collection. So there. But this is on the lighter coverage side. If you're into a more full coverage foundation, this is not for you. But as I said before, you can always build up coverage with concealer. All right. Yes, you're still helping. I see. Alrighty, moving on. I was given some foundations by a friend to try, and they're not my exact shade match, but I will show because I have tried them once or twice before. So here is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea, if it will focus. Yeah. Here's the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. It's the water foundation. I like this. I just need it in my shade. What are you doing? What are you doing? Baxter. What are you doing? Why are you climbing on my vanity? Huh? You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Here is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation, and I like this foundation. I really want to try it in my shade because I tried it one time, but since it was too dark for me, I couldn't really tell how I liked the formula of it, so I feel like I would give it another shot if it was in my shade, but it is very liquidy. I felt like it was pretty long wearing, but again, maybe just because I saw it very well because it was not my shade. But yeah, I like the glass bottle. I liked the dropper, but yeah, I need to try that again, but in my shade. All right, next up, we have the Revlon Candid something Photo Ready Candid Foundation. I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. This ain't my favorite. Just gonna say it. It's not my favorite. It says it's a natural finish, which I guess I see. Okay. I guess it's kind of a natural finish. It's just not as much coverage as I would want. Yeah, I didn't really love it. It wasn't super long wearing on me. Maybe I need to give it another shot though, because I only did try it twice, I think, and then I just kind of moved on. But try it again and see if it works. But it was not my favorite the first couple times I tried it. And that is in shade 110. This foundation was also one of the ones that was given to me by a friend, and because she just didn't need it anymore, she just like was stopped wearing makeup. What are you doing, Mr. Man? What are you doing? What are you doing? What? What? Oop. There you go. All right, so this is the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation, and this is in shade Light 3. And I actually really liked how this looked on the skin. Again, it's not my shade, so it was kind of hard to tell, but I would definitely want to try this in my shade. I wore this out to a bar, and it didn't really budge, and it looked really nice on my skin. So I would definitely be down to try this out in a lighter shade. But something that kind of reminds me of the NARS, and that I've already repurchased a couple times, this is the Dewy Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. And this is in shade Soft Ivory. I have repurchased this at least once, maybe even again before this. I think I might have had one before this as well. I absolutely love this foundation. I am going to keep repurchasing it. It is full coverage and beautiful. Dewy finish, absolutely stunning. It does not smell like paint like the original. Baxter, what do you want? All right, we've moved. We've moved him up here. So this might be a little shaky, I'm sorry. All right, so this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation, and it is in shade Soft Ivory. I absolutely love this foundation. It's 100% my go-to foundation from the drugstore. ColourPop is not from the drugstore, so that's why I can't really say that. But this and the ColourPop is pretty neck and neck, to be honest. I like them for different things, but this is so cheap, and you can even get this on sale sometimes. And this is by far my favorite product I've ever tried from Wet n Wild, so I must say that. This is beautiful. I mean, I really don't have anything bad to say. And it's in a glass bottle. I mean, yes, come on, drugstore. Yes. So this is absolutely beautiful. I will say that it's not my most long wearing foundation that I own, but it has a very decent wear time and I can wear it to work and get away with it. So that's really all I need it for. All right, this is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and it's a beautiful foundation. Not my favorite though. It does lean a little bit more matte. It's kind of matte, natural, but more leaning on the matte side. I will say, I think I don't know. I can't decide which one I like better, but I'll get to that later. But this is in shade Snow, one of their lightest shades, if not their lightest shade. And it still looks a tad dark on me. It can definitely oxidize. I don't know if it's just oxidized since because I've had it for so long. Maybe that's why. Maybe I need a new fresh one because I don't remember it being that dark. But anyway, if you hear that crinkling in the background, Baxter found a toy. So I do apologize for that if you hear that in the background, but I don't have the heart to take it away from him. So yeah, this one, not my favorite, but I did get a lot of good use out of it. Especially, I use this for Instagram looks mostly. So, not my favorite, but it was still in my collection for a very long time. So that is it for my foundations that I have in my collection. Let me know down in the comments if there are any that I don't have that maybe you love and I should try. Or maybe are there some that are not, are there some in my collection that you tried that I love that you don't really love as much? Let me know down in the comments. All right, moving on. All right, everybody, just finished up with the foundations that are in my collection, and now we are going to be moving on to my concealers, which I do have a bit more concealer than I do foundation. So let's jump right in. Just like I started off with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation, I'm gonna go with the one that I have the most of right now. It's kind of insane that I have 3 in my collection. They are all the same shade. Oh no, they're all in shade Fair 10 Neutral. So this is a beautiful concealer. I use this almost every day. I also use this along with other concealers if they're not the right shade to make it my shade, because these are so great and have a light enough range that I can actually brighten up my under eyes. So there's not that many concealers that go down to that shade. So I must commend ColourPop for that. And I love the hyaluronic hydrating aspect of it. I mean, my eyes get kind of dry under there, so so it's really nice to have something that's going to keep those hydrated. It's really nice to have something that's really hydrating underneath your eyes. So I am very much a fan of this concealer. As you can tell, I have repurchased it twice. So I have the full one right here, and then I have these 2 that are almost empty, like really almost empty, but I still keep them around just so I can get something out of it. Like if I want to do a cut crease or if I want to spot conceal or something like that, that's what I go for. So I'm going to use every last drop. I do not waste makeup. Oh, if y'all don't take any other recommendations from my video, please take this one. Super affordable, lovely coverage, awesome shade range, and it's hydrating. Love that. If you want a matte concealer, I guess this isn't really for you, but I don't know. I don't know a lot of people who want dry under eyes, so I would still recommend it. All right, moving on. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and we got this in the most recent BoxyCharm box. So if you have not seen that, I will put that in the card so you can go watch it after this video. I like this. It's actually growing on me a little bit. I've started to use it more. I will use it up, but again, it's not my favorite concealer that I own. It's not the most high coverage. I prefer something with a little bit more coverage, even though it says super coverage, it's not. Yeah, and it's not really light enough for me. It's almost there, but like I can get away with it, but I prefer something a little bit more bright underneath my eyes. But that's that. I will use it up. I do not waste makeup. So up next is another item that we got in a BoxyCharm box. This is the Trustique. This is the Trustique Conceal, Cover, and Correct Crayon. It is in shade Porcelain, which kind of makes me laugh a little bit because it's not my shade. I'm very pale, and most often when something says it's shade Porcelain, it will work for me. or very close. This is kind of close, but not quite. So it's shaped like a little pencil. It's magnetic closure, which I like. It's actually nice for touch-ups if you go take it out to a bar with you or something. But here is the shade up close. It's more on the yellow side. I'm leaning a little bit more neutral. I can get away with it. It's just not my perfect shade match. But it's definitely a, how do I put this? Not waxy. I wouldn't say waxy, but it's almost like if you had a foundation stick. That's what it kind of feels like, but in concealer. And it's not the highest amount of coverage. I would kind of prefer a little bit more coverage, but it's a nice touch-up stick. So yeah, it's not my favorite concealer, especially for under eyes, but it works really well as a touch-up stick, so I'm not mad at it. So that's why I really keep it in my collection. Also, I use it to touch up around my brows too. Forgot to mention that. So moving on with that, this is also meant for brows, but it's also a concealer. So I decided to put it in here. This is another item that we actually got in a kit in BoxyCharm, and this is from Billion Dollar Brows, and it is a concealer and highlighter duo. So this side's obviously brighter than this one. The concealer shade is too dark for me. The bright highlight side is actually a concealer shade for me, so I actually used that side and I used it completely up. I use this to touch up my brows, but you can see it is completely flat. I used it up. It won't crank up anymore. But I actually really enjoyed this product. So, but I can't really use the other side of it. So that kind of makes me sad. I wish it was just the shade. But for getting into BoxyCharm, I'm happy with it. And it made my brows really clean, so that was fun. Okay, moving on. Alright, so I can't remember if we got this in a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy. I think it was a BoxyCharm, but I could be wrong. This is the Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer, and I will say I do not like this concealer. I'm glad we got the other one in the past BoxyCharm because this one is not great. I've used it a couple times. There's like little to no coverage with this. Not a fan. And it says Naturally Radiant, so I was expecting it to be more hydrating. But it has no coverage, so I don't really need it. So yeah, in a future declutter, you can probably expect this to be heading out the door. Next up, we have this. This is from Maybelline. This is the Instant Age Rewind. It's okay. I don't love it. I've heard a lot of people rave about this. I like it, but I don't love it. It's a little bit thin of consistency for me. I like a little bit of a thicker concealer. But the coverage is pretty nice. And also, I think the shade is too dark for me, so I think that's probably also a reason that I don't gravitate towards it as much. But it has a thinner formula as well, so that could be it too. I don't know. I keep it in my collection just in case I need a drugstore option, but not my favorite. Also, the applicator is weird. I don't know why no one mentions this whenever I see people putting this in videos. This sponge applicator thing, when you get this new, you have to crank it so much for anything to come out. It feels like you've got a broken one. And then the applicator itself is just a sponge, and it just feels weird. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Maybe if it was a little bit thicker and it came in my shade, and maybe not in that applicator, maybe I'd like it more. But yeah, not my fave. Another drugstore concealer, we have the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, and this is in Light Ivory. This shade works beautifully for me. It's actually very brightening under the eyes on my skin tone. I really like this. The coverage is pretty good. Not my favorite, but I still enjoy it. It's a really nice drugstore concealer, I must say. And it's very comparable to high-end concealers sometimes. The drugstore is really coming for y'all, okay? There's no reason right now for you to pay for an expensive concealer. I honestly, there is only one concealer that I would ever pay luxury prices for, at least that I've tried yet. I haven't tried any of the high, designer brands, like the Giorgio Armani concealer is supposed to be really good. Haven't tried anything like that. I haven't tried the Pat McGrath. I feel like that one is going to be wonderful, but I can't bring myself to spend that much money on it. But as far as my most luxurious concealer goes, that would have to go to Tarte Shape Tape. This has been around the beauty world for a very, very, very long time, and for some good reason. It's expensive though. I mean, $27 might not be expensive to some, but to me, it's expensive. With the amount of concealer that I go through, I was rebuying this all the time at $27 a pop. Like, and that just feels silly to me now that I've tried some from the drugstore that I love even more. I mean, I guess I don't love them more, I love them equally. Does that make sense? This is actually a little bit more matte of a finish, which I didn't think I would like, but it's not so matte that it dries out my under eyes. But the real star of this is the amount of coverage you get. You need like a few dots of this and you can cover your under eyes, you can cover your sins, you know. Just, this goes such a long way. And I really want to repurchase this because this is almost empty, but I just haven't been able to yet just because money. There's other things that I want to spend my money on right now. And I have a lot of drugstore concealers that I really love. So haven't repurchased it yet, but I have repurchased this in the past like 5 or 6 times. So I will say that this is a tried and true love in my collection and I want it back. So another ColourPop, this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer and it is in shade Fair 08 or 8. This is in shade Fair 08 and this is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. As you can see, I have used it almost up completely. And I need to get rid of this because it's probably old by now, but I got some great use out of this. I love it. I do like the hydrating version better, but this is also a wonderful concealer. If you want something that's not hydrating, I would recommend this. It's a beautiful concealer. Very pigmented, very nice on the skin. Yes, and it's a great price tag. All right. So this is one product that I wanted to throw in here because it is in my concealer drawer. It's not really a concealer, it's a color corrector, but this we got in a BoxyCharm box, and this is from Dragon Beauty. This is Nikita Dragon's brand. Not sure how I feel about her, but the product is decent. I don't actually use color correctors that often though, so I don't actually get use out of this, but it blends out really nicely and you only need a tiny, tiny, tiny bit and it goes a very long way. So I'll give her that. But if you want a color corrector, this is a good one. I don't use them, so I'm not the best judge for that, but I thought it was good. Next up, we have another concealer we actually got in a BoxyCharm. This is from Pretty Vulgar, and this is an undercover concealer in Little White Lies. That's the shade name. Little White Lies. I think this is an okay concealer. Not my fave. Cute packaging. Not my fave. I've only tried it a couple times and the coverage didn't blow me away, so I just never reached in it again. But also the applicator is really thin and it feels weird on the eyes. Like after using Shape Tape and other ones with a thick wand, this feels very weird when applying. So not my fave. And this one is an all-star in the beauty community. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer, and this is in shade Fair Warm. And I like this, but it's definitely a little bit on the drier side of concealers. Not my fave, but the pigment is on point. Very, very high coverage concealer for a great price. So if you're looking for something on the matte side for a concealer, this is your gal. Just gonna say that. But for me, I like more hydrating products, so I don't get as much use out of this. I do sometimes mix this with a hydrating concealer, and then I can use it, but not my all-time fave. And now, last but not least, you've probably seen this in most of my description boxes because I use this so much. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and as you can see, I have a couple different shades of this, and they are all almost out because I use them so much. Okay, so this first one right here, oop, there it is, baby. Yeah, this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and it's a satin finish, which is 100% accurate. This is in Fair Warm. This is what I use most days, and also in the summertime. I have 2 of those. This one is almost out, so I use this one mostly for cut creases and, you know, small touch-up jobs, because this I'm not going to get really much use for under the eyes because there's not much left in here, but I save them and I use them for little things like that. This is also in Fair Warm, so my summer shade, and this one is in Fair Rose. This is super light. I love this. This shade is beautiful on me, and this is my winter shade, definitely, because this is summertime and I'm already really pale, but wait till you see your girl in the wintertime. I lose all color. I am so pale, so I need the lighter shade, and this does that for me. So it's definitely on the pinkier side. So Fair Rose is a very good name for it, I must say. But this is super hydrating under the eyes. It has a great amount of coverage. It lasts all day, doesn't budge. This is my favorite affordable drugstore concealer by far. This and the ColourPop might be tied, but I actually lean more towards the e.l.f. because it's more like Shape Tape. And I think that's why I like it. I mean, $27 versus like $8. So you get pretty much the same amount in there. You get a very similar wand, similar amount of coverage. That's why I've repurchased this so many times. All right. So 10 out of 10 recommend the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And that is it. We have now done my foundations and my concealers. And maybe a few extra miscellaneous items in there. But that's all I got for you guys. Alright everyone, and that is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed watching my makeup collection for my foundations and my concealers. So I know this one's probably a little bit on the shorter end, but that's fine. They don't all have to be super long. I know, I just ramble on. It happens. But I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope you stay safe, happy, and healthy out there. Please continue to wear your masks and do something kind for someone else today. And that's all I got for you. So please stick around, watch some other videos if you'd like. Please remember to hit that like button and please subscribe if you can. I would appreciate it so much. It really helps me out. And that's all I got. If you want to watch other episodes of my makeup collection series, I will be putting them in the cards or in the description below, maybe both. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.
I'm standing on the edge of a cliff. Realize there must be more to life than this. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from heaven's send with me tonight. Trying to find our place in this world. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly.